So I would say like this is like the broad strokes of, like the only other things I think we said is like what do they actually get when they buy the Copilot? So when they buy the Copilot, they get like this one pager PDF. Okay. And this one pager PDF includes instructions for how to set up the respective Copilots. And then it includes like kind of a refresher on some of my previous materials, letting me know if they get stuck. But I'd say all of the proprietary paywalled stuff is behind these two links. So like how to set up this one and how to set up this one. You can only access those if you're in the Google group. Okay. But within those, it basically looks like this. So there's, so yes, people do need to buy the Copilot. They need to buy Claude rather, Claude Pro. I guess Projects is now in the free tier in Claude, but it has like real limitations, so you can't really
Yeah.
use the Copilot as well.
You get a really nerfed version.
Yeah, but it ends up there's literally 13,000 characters of instructions for the product
Wow.
sense one, which exceeds ChatGPT's instructions limit, which is only 8,000 characters. So I had to kind of do some hacky stuff to kind of allow people to use this with ChatGPT, but it's just not as good as the it's not as good as Claude at the instructions, at following instructions for that reason. And then there's like a Google Drive folder that gives them some files. So they can repeat this for the product sense one, they could repeat this for the analytical thinking one, set up two different projects, or use the custom GPTs or ChatGPT. I have separate instructions for that. And that's how they end up using the Copilot. So when people buy the Copilot, this is ultimately like the thing they're buying. Is this a combination of instructions and files?
Makes sense. And it sounds like the cool part is once you buy it, you get updates
Totally.
as you kind of learn, or there's like something that you change. I'm curious, like, so I think like an interesting point that you made, right, is there like this gets better as you like your evals get better, as your content gets better, but also there's like this third element that you said I don't control, but actually changes quite often, right? Which is the
models.
foundational models and the version. So I'm curious, like, what is that process like, right? Like, it sounds like you probably have to be, especially for like OpenAI and Anthropic, which seems to be like the two major that you're working with. Like, what is that process? Like, you have to be on top of it. Hey, like they just launched this thing, and like, what is your process for testing? Hey, is this still working? Like, do you have like almost like an eval that you do every time?
I just go through with, I pick a recent question from the question bank as if I just bought the Copilot for the first time, and I drop it into into a new chat, and I ask it to just work through this question. So one thing you might notice, so I just asked like, how do you build a product for volunteering? This divider
Oh
here in
wow,
this
yeah.
top section, it
So for
actually,
those listening, basically
yeah,
like for it asks it a question, and instead of giving you just one answer like the one that we walked through in the beginning, now we're seeing kind of like almost like two parallel answers. One that's like 1 minute long, and then the other one that's like half a minute,
so
basically.
they're not parallel in the sense that they're like A/B testing or something. It's more like there was the same content before in what we just walked through, Mark, but there was assumptions followed by a game plan, but there was only one timestamp for the collective response.
Oh,
And what you're seeing here is something that I actually do put in my instructions, which is generate an estimated minute, like time spent on every section of your response.
got it.
So 4.5 seems to actually take this first section, and it knows it's actually two sections, and therefore it actually created two timestamps. We can actually compare this to what we saw with the hobbyist example. You see this?
Yeah, it's the exact same time, but one, yeah,
It's
and
one block, two
pretty
blocks.
similar answers too. I actually like the other one, the way they formatted the answer better, and because it's a little bit like easier to read. Um,
Yeah. That was like one of those vibe things. Like I was going through it. I'm
yeah,
like, okay, for my initial reaction is this feels better, but I don't know why. So like, let me deconstruct what's different.
yeah.
And I think my conclusion is just seems to follow the instructions better is kind of what. which is important for this use
Yeah,
case. That's
totally.
actually arguably one of the most important things, and one of the reasons that ChatGPT, in my opinion, is not as good.